Welcome to River Talk, the River's Edge Radio Network. Well, I survived. I survived the wedding, both weddings. What a weekend. 2 nights within like 4 days, 24 hours, up for 24 hours, driving overnight, 10-hour drive to and from Tennessee. It was an interesting experience. Really, actually, I went there with the worst expectations. Not for the wedding. I thought the wedding would be nice. It was more, I wanted to go to Florida. If you remember, I explained that Florida's the place to be and everyone loves Florida. And I was going to Tennessee, but I really enjoyed the Smoky Mountains. I never would have went there if it wasn't for the wedding. And we went to this one place. It was incredible. It's called Anakista. And you take a ski lift. You can only access the place via a ski lift. But you take a ski lift up to a place that you can't access through car, and they have this bar that just overlooks the entire mountain range. And they have this area where you can walk from tree to tree via a rope, like a rope bridge. It was great. Really great experience. It was interesting. I may go back to see the National Forest, or I may just go back to Florida and sit on the beach. I'm here with Jay Cooper. What the hell's going on with you? You're dressed up with like a mustache, a boa, whatever this is.
Well, you know something, brother. We are only days away from fucking Halloween, dude. And I just see that you had your horse mask, but you didn't put it on.
I didn't put it on, no.
Brother, am I the only one that's in the spirit of Halloween?
Yes.
I'm in here. I'm looking good. I got the outfit. I got the bandana. I got the mustache. I got the largest arms in the world. I'm being disrespected by the microphone. And you fix
Well,
it.
of course, you come in looking like a fool.
I come in here looking stylish.
I pity the fool who comes in here.
I look great.
You look great. Yeah.
I look great.
So what are you going as? What are you going as?
Well, for those of you who don't know who I am Hollywood Hulk Hogan, the leader of the NWO, brother. The new world organization
Weren't you
of wrestling.
kicked out of
brother.
wrestling? Weren't you kicked out of wrestling?
Okay, I was let go from the WWE for a short time, but I will be back, brother.
You'll be back. All right, we'll
Yeah.
see. We'll see. Jay's all set up for Halloween. I am not, but however, I'm not completely out of the spirit. I'll be talking a little bit later about the UnhIInged theater event going on right now. I had a chance to get in there, a sneak peek, because, you know, I'm one of the top elite people in the media, Jay, so I was given a press pass for an early viewing before the actual release of the show. And I'll tell you a little bit about my experience there. We have a few questions for you. Are dogs taking over? We'll get into that. Is Pittsburgh going to the Animals? Will Nate Nulph be on the show? And more. No, Nate Nulph, he's actually here. He's giving me
No, I'm not.
Yeah, he's giving me a no.
Not.
You're not going to be on the show.
No, I think I'm out.
You're out. Already changed his mind.
I changed my mind.
I don't blame you, actually. So let's see. We got Nate Nulph right here. Oh,
Nate
that's not
Nulph,
it.
brother.
Nate Nulph.
Nate Nulph in
What's
the
happening,
studio.
dude?
There was a song earlier that the banjo was playing, and the only time I want to see a banjo played is by Hulk Hogan. That's the only time.
If we had a banjo, we might be able to make that
Air
possible.
guitar is what I'm known for, bro.
You're known for the air guitar. So Nate Nulph, I had the pleasure of being on
Yes.
your program.
Yes.
Now you're on my program.
I appreciate the offer. This is great. This is a great studio.
It is.
I've told you before, this is a wonderful setup you got here.
You
Thank
hear
you.
that?
Yeah, it's great.
You hear that?
I like it.
I'm promoting it.
So it is a few days before Halloween, and I plan to do nothing. I plan to not give away candy. I plan to be the Scrooge. Maybe I'll go and take other kids' candy. That could be a new take on Halloween. The Scrooge of the holiday. I used to be more into it, but I don't know. I've become, as I get older, I care less and less about holidays. I don't want to participate. It's too much work. Like, how much time did it take you to put this together, Jay? It took you, like, minutes.
Minutes, brother.
I don't have minutes.
Took me minutes to order it from Amazon, too.
I don't have minutes. I got seconds, man. I'm on the fly. Always on the go. Always rushing. So there was a fox found on the top of the Duquesne Club, and it makes me ask, are animals taking over Pittsburgh? You've heard stories like this before. There was a bobcat recently in a residential area in Pittsburgh, and most people would hear a fox on the roof, a bobcat roaming through the neighborhood is a bad thing, right? But of course the environmentalists are jumping for joy. They claim that this is an example of how Pittsburgh is becoming more environmentally friendly. And though I don't want to run into a bobcat walking down the street, and I don't want a fox jumping on me from on high, I agree with them, actually. I really like the fact that you could walk through the downtown of a city and be surrounded by trees. And we're getting more and more eco-friendly as time goes on. There's more rooftop gardens. I love what they have at Gateway Center. I don't know if you've ever walked through those gardens at the Gateway Plaza, right near Point State Park. They have all of these gardens in between the skyscrapers. I'm a huge fan of that. So I like the direction that we are going as far as like this eco-friendly, but I don't know if I want to run into a fox. However, this fox was properly placed, and I feel like this fox could be an asset to the community.
How so?
So I used to be a delivery driver, as you know, and I traveled the city all over the region. And it's great because I actually know the city like the back of my hand.
All the territories, dude.
All the territories. And even though the Duquesne Club is a prestigious club, where let me just put it this way. The Duquesne Club has a throne, an actual throne, in a stairwell.
Do they?
They do.
Really?
They have a throne in the stairwell. And the reason why is because they have so much money and so much shit.
Just need something to do with it.
Yeah, they have no idea where to put this stuff. Because what else are you going to do with it? I mean, you could walk down, like this is a really nice studio, right? Here in Millville.
Best
Small.
studio, brother.
Best studio.
That was my first point. Yeah.
It's great. It's a beautiful studio. You could just walk down the hallway in the Duquesne Club, and the paintings on the wall would easily outvalue this studio. And this is a really nice studio. This is probably the best in Pittsburgh. But there's just so much wealth laying everywhere in the Duquesne Club. So as you can tell, it's a nice place. You go in there, you go to take a dump, you get out of the shitter, and there's some guy there to shine your shoes. They've got cloth towels, mouthwash in the bathroom. There's an outdoor courtyard with a fountain that's actually indoors, so that way they don't have to deal with the weather. They have a giant billiards room that is larger than this studio.
That's right.
It's insane there.
First class all the way, brother.
But if you go to the back of the building, it's a real dump. It's crazy. It's dingy. It's grimy. There's a smelly dumpster. That's the alley in Pittsburgh where you're going to get murdered if you accidentally walk down it. And one time I parked there. I was making a delivery. And I'm in this giant box truck. The box truck where you would sit in it, it was about as high as the table that is about standing height here. We have this beautiful desk where I could stand at the desk, and it's about a little bit above my waistline. Mm-hmm. And I'm about 6 foot, a little under 6 foot, so it's a pretty decently sized desk. When you get out of a box truck, the drop is about that long. So I'm there, it's wintertime, I left my coat in the car, and some bum got into the box truck and stole my coat.
Brother.
Stole my coat right out of the box truck. And it's like, not like I just left it on a bench somewhere, right? It's in a vehicle. Not only is it in a vehicle, it's in a vehicle you have to climb into. So this guy had so much guts. Not only did he break and enter into my vehicle, I mean, I did leave the door unlocked. Not only did he break into the vehicle and enter the vehicle without my permission, but he actually had to climb into it. So anybody could have seen this guy climb into the vehicle. But this is like the alley in Pittsburgh where you would expect to find mutants, the people that like live in the sewers that are afraid to come up and rejoin society because they've got like 3 arms. Those are the type of people that you would expect to see in this alleyway.
So when he did it, what did you do?
I wasn't there. I came back. The coat was gone. My friend's lunch was gone too, the guy I was working with. This guy went in and helped himself to lunch, helped himself to a coat. I hear there's a homeless shelter there, but you know what? I don't care. I don't like when people steal from me.
I need to find this guy and kick his ass.
This has been years ago.
So we can still find him.
Brother Jay.
We can still find him.
We can still find him?
If he's still in the shelter, man, I know a couple of places.
Yeah, so this place, basically, I don't mind.
I'll kick his ass.
I am not anti-homeless. What I am anti is people stealing from me. and I just want to stick a fox on them. Like, I feel like a fox, right, could make sure that dark alley is patrolled. Maybe we could turn that into the classiest alley in Pittsburgh. So if you steal from somebody, if you break into their vehicle, a fox comes down and rips your throat out.
I don't think I've ever met a fox like that.
You never met a fox like that?
Has a nice ring to it, though.
Yeah, I think it's definitely something to consider.
We got flies in here or something. What the hell is that?
I don't know.
Get the hell out of here.
All right. But I think this could solve the problem of I think is it Strawberry Way, the name of that street? Have you ever been down there? I mean, it's really a shitty alley.
It's been a while.
It's been a while,
So I don't recall.
You don't recall.
Maybe Nate knows.
That's a ton of government spending, though. A lot of foxes on every building. I
Is
just feel
it
like
though?
that'd be a lot. Just the hassle.
Not every
to
building.
put you want not every building?
No, just like the trouble areas.
It's the trouble areas.
So we've often talked about using animals to try to solve the problems of the city.
Have you?
We have, yeah, on this program.
What other animals?
What other animals? So we've talked about the death birds to come down and attack the geese. Like there was the lady who trained her cats. Remember, Jay? We thought maybe she could have a specialized team of cats that could come down and take out animals.
I do remember that, and it could still work.
Yeah, it could still work. So maybe we could train this fox to do our bidding and take out the bums stealing in the back, dark, dingy alley behind the Duquesne Club.
Well, I'm on board.
You're on board?
You've convinced me.
Thank you. I'm glad.
Join the club, brother. Too sweet me. There you go.
That's
Boom.
great. I feel welcomed.
Yeah.
I really do.
I really shouldn't leave you hanging, brother. Come on.
All right.
Too sweet me.
All
There
right.
you go.
So,
Yeah.
Jay, it is time.
That was a little sloppy, but that's okay, though.
It is time for Cooper's Corner. Do you want to play the theme? Let's do the theme. Can we do a spooky version?
A spooky version of the Cooper's Corner.
Yes. Like just some spooky intro music.
Like a ooh. Cooper's Corner. Cooper's Corner. Cooper's Corner. Ooh, yeah. Speaking Macho Man from the grave. Yeah, dig it. Cooper's Corner, brother. Yeah. I had a macho just jumped into my body for a second. Sorry about that. Yes. Welcome to Cooper's Corner, everybody. Today we're going to talk about something that happened over in jolly old England, brother.
Oh, all right.
Yeah, the London police are on the hunt. They are on the hunt
For some wanker?
You could say he's a wanker, and also you could say he's a shoplifter. A shoplifter who bears the shocking resemblance to actor David Schwimmer, who, for those of you who know him as Ross Geller from the TV show Friends.
Okay.
And he has a very striking resemblance of him. I mean, he looked just like him, brother.
Yeah, I saw the picture. He really does look exactly like him. This guy is like a doppelganger. This guy could get a gig. Is he considered going into acting? Is this guy Ross? Is he like popular enough to have his own impersonators yet?
He was popular like 15, 20 years ago, brother. I don't know what he's done since Friends.
He was in that OJ thing, the American Crime Story.
That's right.
He was really good in that.
He was good in that one. He was good in that. And then I just saw an old episode of NYPD Blue.
Yeah, he was on there. He was like real young at the time. I was watching that.
Yeah,
That's
he was a lawyer.
crazy.
Yeah, real pussy lawyer. But real good actor though, brother. And so what made it real funny was that when Schwimmer got wind of it, he decided to respond with a Twitter video, a parody, because the man who was in the video, he ran out with a case of beer.
Okay.
So what he did was he made a parody of him coming out of a convenience store with a case of beer also. And with the video,
incredible.
He sent a tweet that said, "Officers, I swear it wasn't me. As you can see, I was in New York." And what
Can you
made
imagine if he actually got arrested for that? If it turned out that they
it was
looked
all
at the
over
camera.
it was all over TMZ. It was all over TMZ.
Oh wait, so
I mean,
they reported it as him doing it.
yeah, they thought it was him.
Oh,
They
wow.
really thought it was him.
That's the thing. Like TMZ is really weird because they are this weird blend of true investigative journalists and tabloid.
Yeah.
And
They're
it's
right,
really
they're right.
confusing. They really blur the line because when you think about it, they break some really big stuff, and no one else in the media is breaking it. No one else in the media is actually doing very few people are doing real investigative journalism. I think it's probably a product of this 24-hour news cycle where everyone wants to be first. So everybody's kind of on this ADHD kick, right? Mm-hmm. And they're just reporting whatever.
Yeah.
But nobody's actually focusing on true investigative journalism, but TMZ does.
Right.
But then they report shit like this when they don't check any of the facts. They just go and report it.
Yeah.
So I don't know how to take them. I don't know if I like them or hate them.
It's hit and miss with me,
Yeah.
especially with the TV show.
Oh, the TV show's awful. That guy, they got that guy who screams everything because they can't talk, and for some reason that's really popular now. You know what I mean? Like on that show,
You talking about that guy that be always sitting down?
No, the announcer. Like the guy,
him.
like none of the people who sit in that room.
I like him.
You like him? He's so annoying.
I especially like him in what's that court show he's on? Was it People's Court? I think he's on People's Court.
Is he? I don't know.
He's on People's Court?
I think he is on People's Court. Like he'd be outside, like with the audience and everything, and then like because he's a lawyer.
Oh, really?
So yeah.
Well, I'm not talking about. I'm talking about the guy. No, I don't think we're talking about the same guy.
We're not talking about the same guy. This guy, the head guy.
No. This is a guy.
The head guy.
No. This is the guy when they go in between stories and they tell you what's going on. He talks like this and tries to be funny.
Oh, you're talking about the narrator?
Yes. Oh. I can't stand him.
Yeah, he's a pain in the ass. I don't like him.
That show itself would not be nearly as bad if they just got rid of him. Like, if we need to send the Fox from the Duquesne Club to rip this guy's vocal cords out so he can no longer speak because he's got one of those voices that is just so annoying. It's like this guy who is on radio overnight. Sometimes some guys at work listen to this sports radio show, and this guy's on overnight, and he talks like this, and he goes for 3 hours talking like this. It's like the most obnoxious thing
that's annoying
in the world. And how in the hell this guy got on radio, I'll never know. You would think one of the number one things you would have to be able to do in radio is actually speak. Right. And have a voice that doesn't sound like, I don't know, like you've smoked all of the cigarettes in the world.
I think we're being bugged, brother. This is crazy. Okay, they're gone. Because I said something.
All right.
Well, here's something that's also funny, too. Because not only did he have a sense of humor, the people in Britain had a sense of humor, too. The London newspaper called the Daily Star ran a story under Schwimmer's lookalike under the headline that said, "I'll beer there for you."
Wow.
Which for those of you
Oh, that's great.
Ain't that cute? That's cute.
Really great.
I like that. I'll beer there for you. It's English humor, so, you know.
Well, the English are
It's cute, though.
In some ways, the English are funnier than us. Like, I don't know about their stand-up necessarily, but as far as, like, their actual programming, like television programming and things like that.
They're sophisticated.
It's way better.
They're a little more sophisticated.
I think it's way better. Like,
we're more lowbrow. That's
our comedy's kind of designed for children. Like when it comes to like
or grown
sitcoms.
up to act like children.
Sitcoms I'm talking about. Like not what you guys do, but like the actual sitcoms. Like for example, like The Office, like running around, like going crazy, like acting stupid. Like it's not funny to me because nobody in the real world would act like that. Versus the British Office when, you know, everything is kind of, I don't know, like tempered in a way. Like it feels like you're in an actual office, but they're doing things that are kind of crazy, but not so crazy that it's not believable. Like there's one episode in the British Office where there's this office dildo, and they're hiding. Have you seen the British Office? Yeah, and they're hiding in different areas, and it's just like he just happens to the boss picks up a pile of papers, and this dildo is sitting on the desk when he's talking to the regional boss, who's a woman. Like that's hilarious.
Right.
Well, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say, like in Europe, and we talked about this in last week's episode. They're a little more free as far as certain topics they talk about, whereas here in America, I mean, if we pulled out a dildo on television, they will blur that shit out.
That wasn't necessarily my point. My point is
but I was just saying, though. I mean, you know,
my point is more that we act like our kind of comedy on sitcoms and stuff is like it's zany. Everything's gonna be zany or like so goofy, and it's like
because America has ADHD, brother.
That's what I'm saying.
We have to do shit that just catches the eye. It's just
I'll also speak to that Office example too. I mean, the producers of the British version of The Office said once they got done with the second season, they're like, we don't have anything else. Like we're done.
Yeah.
They probably did, but that was it. I mean, Europe seems like art is more important than commercializing everything, which is the U.S. I mean, look at shows like Game of Thrones, which are designed not to end.
This is true. Yeah. Oh, like what is it?
When is that final season coming?
I think it's this season. I don't watch it. I don't.
You don't watch Game of Thrones?
No, I can't commit to
Brother,
something else, man.
That's a hell of a show.
You watch it? Do you like it?
Yeah.
I watched the first season.
That Daenerys.
Yeah, well, he was such a fine gentleman.
She
and
is.
He got,
no. I'm talking about the Queen of Dragons.
who's the guy that died?
The Mother of Dragons. Which one? A lot of
the guy I liked at the end. Who's the guy that I like, Jay? The one king, the dad. Do you know what I'm talking about? Like the guy who gets like executed at like the very end of that season.
Oh, him.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I think
Half
I
our
liked
audience
it.
who doesn't listen to Game of Thrones
I'm
is just
outta
sitting
here.
here
Doesn't
going,
matter.
"What?"
They know.
So I don't know. I don't know. I don't watch the show, so I don't know. If I don't know, there's other people who don't know. I mean,
If you're cool, brother, you would have watched the show.
No, I'm cool, so I don't watch the. Everything I do is cool, and everyone who acts like me is cool. So
You're lucky you're my co-host.
We've
brother.
just kind of lost the cool section of our listening base. Only the lame asses are listening now. So I don't know.
Okay,
Sorry,
insult the
sorry.
audience.
Sorry, Nate, but we just like lost half the audience.
I'm sorry.
No, I'm just saying. You're here to talk. We're here to learn about you, and now no one's listening.
You don't have to learn about me.
That's all right.
Well, let's talk about you.
Okay.
So you're here in studio.
I am.
You had me.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, you had me in your space, which is great. I love the artwork on the wall, which is
Yeah,
awesome.
this is no random office in the middle of Upper St. Clair, but this is fine.
Yeah, but your office is pretty. It was a very pretty office.
It is a pretty office,
Yeah.
a nautical theme.
Okay, I liked it. Yeah, I was very zen-like when you're there for the podcast and you're looking at like the beautiful paintings on the wall. Here you get to look at like poop and Star Wars and stuff like that, which doesn't necessarily give you a feeling of zen, does it?
Does the audience see? The audience does see something that's not green, right? The green screen.
Yeah,
they
yeah,
do.
yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, we got a
fun.
badass picture of Mr. Small's theater.
that's fun.
Behind us. Yeah. So you're here in studio, and I first learned of you actually. I first learned of you through your brother.
Is that true? You had him on the show.
I had him on the show. You had to talk about his campaign,
Yeah.
which is going to be wrapping up here
Yeah,
shortly.
like a week and a half.
Yeah. How do you feel? Do you feel he has a good shot of winning?
I do. He is such a genuine person. Like, regardless of politics or anything, he is one of the most active, engaging. Genuine's the word. Like I hear. Like, I'm not a political guy by like any means, but like from what I know, like I don't feel anybody's that genuine in politics, and I just think he's
Most of them are conniving assholes.
Yeah, probably. I don't know anything about it, but like he just seems so passionate about his values, but more other people. So that's why I would vote for him if he wasn't my brother.
Yeah,
Now, what is your brother running for?
PA State House of Representatives in the 33rd district. So like,
Okay.
I think it's like Fox Chapel or a little lower up to Harrison Township, like right up 28.
Yeah, I can't vote for him in this area. He's just outside of my district. Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm hoping he does well.
I hope he wins.
Yeah, it's weird because I'm all
He's
over.
my brother.
He's my brother.
Literally, he's literally your brother.
He's
yeah.
my brother.
So we were talking about just about people in the scene, and he's like, oh, my brother's a comedian and he has a podcast. So then I had checked the podcast out and I enjoyed it.
I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Man.
Then we I reached out and
It's a lot of fun.
Here we are. Yeah, it is. It is a lot of fun.
Did you enjoy it? Did you enjoy coming on?
I enjoyed coming on. It was a lot of fun. I always enjoy. I don't know. I enjoy the way you think, and that's one of the reasons why I like the podcast. So many people are just so. We talked a little bit about the craziness that is today's world, with everybody just being so willing to, or so eager, I should say, to jump down someone's throat or go on the attack.
Yeah, that's part of it, and part of doing a comedy podcast in a city that has a lot of comedy podcasts already. You have to have the confidence. Kind of what you said, like. People will come to this show and it'll funnel through just the conversations that we have.
Yeah.
There needs to be something that stands out, and it might be like a little bit egotistical. I don't think it is, but you have to bring your own personal brand to the show. And I think that's what you do here too. So, I guess that's all I had.
Yeah, no, I agree. I mean, people come because I am the most creative person in radio.
That's
in
why
Pittsburgh. So obviously, people are going to want to tune into that.
Toot. That was me tooting your horn.
Yeah,
Thank
Hulk
you.
Hogan here.
Yeah, we've nobody else has that.
Nobody,
right?
brother.
Nobody else has that. And then we talk about stories like, foxes attacking people in the alleyway.
Right.
And kind of...
I don't think foxes have been brought up on my show. Nor do I have a Hulk Hogan. Nor do I have a green screen.
But you have that Zen-like painting.
I have the Zen style. You ever listen to the Todd Glass show?
No.
It's so good, but he brings people into this space that like everything is okay to talk about, and it's so peaceful and relaxed. Like he'll do things at the beginning of the podcast, like he'll just have you like quiet for 30 seconds and put like a hot towel around like your head, and it's like things like that bring you in. That's kind of where I want to move my show to, is a little less serious with things and a little more goofy. Like that's over the next coming months.
He is a funny guy.
Now, when
Todd Glass? Yeah, Todd Glass.
Now, when you came into this building, did you feel a sense of zen? When you sat down and spoke to Brian Crawford, Pittsburgh's moral compass, did you feel more righteous?
You know what? I felt bad because I forgot Jay's name on the way in.
Oh, man. See,
that's true.
That's because I'm not Jay. Bro.
I'd like to make a public apology to wherever Jay is. He left. I don't know where he went.
I don't know who this Jay you're talking about, dude, because there is no Jay Cooper here. I don't know what he's talking about, brother.
I don't know.
Where is Kevin? Where's Scott? Like,
who even in the hell is Jay Cooper anyway?
Well, I heard he's an interesting cat, bro.
Oh, really?
Yeah, that's what
I heard. He's some bum.
I heard that he runs the show, but you're like the one that talks the most.
I do talk a lot.
Yes. But you're the moral compass, so...
I am Pittsburgh's moral compass.
Yeah,
I am the voice of reason among 3 rivers of chaos. And we're here with Nate Nulph.
Stand-up comedian.
At riversedgepgh.com. He is a stand-up comedian and a podcaster. And how long have you been working in stand-up?
A year and 8 months.
Yeah,
so I started early 2017. It's funny. I mean, you had Joe Marchi on the show. He got me into stand-up.
Oh, did he?
We grew up around the same area.
Oh, okay.
He went to the Catholic high school next to my public high school. And whenever I graduated at Pitt, I started a job at an insurance firm where you had to build your own clientele. So you had to get your own names, right? So I sat down with Joe Marchi to just talk to him about it and possibly like the prospect with him, right? Mm-hmm. And I asked for a couple people, even his parents, and he said, whatever. Anyway, I'm starting to host this open mic at Hambones. You should come out to it. And I did, and I watched it once, and then I got up on stage the next night.
Wait, so like elderly got you into comedy, really?
Who?
Elderly people.
Elderly people going, yeah. In the grand scheme of things, yes.
Now, do you ever talk about elderly people in your routine?
I do. Not a lot, because like 99% of the people that I meet are amazing people, and then there are some people that like stories just come up. Like I never mention names, of course, but like it's just an interesting dynamic of people you meet in that job.
Oh, I'm sure. And then the thing is when you get to that age, people, they give like zero fucks, right? So they'll say whatever's on their mind. If they're really, really nice people, they'll be really, really nice when they're old. Yeah. If they're really like assholes at heart, like if the center of their soul is rotting over, then they'll express that when they speak to you.
But I would just say that's anybody you run into. Like that's people like.
Don't you think people are good at hiding it when they're younger and they become less able to hide it as they're older, or they just don't care enough to pretend?
That hasn't been my experience.
Oh, really?
I've dealt with like I've grown up around a lot of older people. Mm-hmm. I've never like really seen that. Like I get like old people just want to talk and say crazy things. I've never really experienced that. Like my dad was a Methodist minister growing up, so I spend a lot of time around old people. I've always just found older people to be very interesting, like with stories and things like that.
Well, don't get me wrong. I like older people. Like I
right.
do. And all I'm saying is it seems like as you get older, this has just been my experience, I guess, people become more willing to just be themselves. Like when you're younger, you're worried about advancing your career, things like that. So whenever you're older, who you are inside comes out.
I get that
more. That's more my point.
I understand that.
You're not putting on a mask. Like when you're younger, like you may be a real piece of shit, but you can't go into work and just start mother effing someone.
Sure.
So you put on a mask. But when you're older and you're retired, You can. Who cares?
Well, that's an interesting thing you say too, like, because I still feel myself putting on like masks in front of just people, right? Like people even that I've grown up with. Like I feel myself playing. I've talked about it on my show too. Like I've always felt myself putting on a character for people. I think for a long time, up until probably about 6 or 7 months ago, I had that with my parents. Like I am going to put on the facade of a good Christian nice boy. And then my parents came to see me at the Improv, and that was the first time they heard me say fuck for the first time.
Oh, wow.
So it's like that experience was really rewarding, because now I feel myself becoming extremely close. I've always been close with my parents, right? But now I feel myself being just a little more open with them about things.
Now, has that made your...
Works with me.
Has it made your...
I clear all my jokes with my mother first before I even...
Is that true?
If she doesn't laugh, then I'm not gonna tell it. But if it's funny, if she laughs, if she busts out laughing, I'm like, okay, check. Yeah.
Is your mom a comedy fan?
She's a fan of laughing.
Okay. Yeah.
Well, I feel
if it's funny, she's gonna laugh. If she don't find it funny, she's not gonna laugh. I mean, there have been times I did jokes, and she was there, and I had bombed maybe once or twice, and she was like, "Damn," and she's sitting front row, and she's like, "Damn, my son is better than this." Like, and everybody's saying, "Yeah, he ain't funny," and she's like, "Well, I mean, he usually is, but but today you're right. He ain't
Man, they
funny."
are rough.
Yeah,
They are
it
harsh.
happens.
Well, I feel like that's not a bad thing, though, because at least, you'll
it
grow
humbles
from that.
me.
Yeah.
It humbles me.
So, do you have anybody, Nate, that you speak to about your jokes and your material to kind of test it out? Somebody who's ruthless?
No. I don't. No. Okay. You know what? My girlfriend Monica. She's so fucking funny, and I spend so much time with her. She'll tell me things that I do at shows or open mics. It's like, as an audience member, somebody's not really, who has never done stand-up, this is what I took away from your act. Like I did a set at the Improv last night, and it was bad. Like it just was not a good set. And she said little things like, you need to work on this particular bit, because there are things that you could expand on, and it's also a little confusing. I was like, yeah, you know what, you're right. And there's little things like that. But I'll run things like by people at even in an open mic. Like I've been talking to Luke Forrence about some stuff, just seeing him in passing. Yeah. I'll run a quick bit by like Daniel Ferrer is one guy. I'll run bits by Kaylee Dumas, just like when they're there.
I like Kaylee.
Yeah, she's
Kaylee
funny.
Duma, yeah,
she's
I like
funny.
her. She's awesome. I haven't seen her in a while. Yeah, but what I like though is that you kept going.
Yeah.
I've seen people, like they lost the crowd, and then they gotta like pull something out of their ass.
Yeah.
They try to get them back.
Well, I felt
they'd be like, any Steeler fans?
Yeah.
Or
well,
I hate when people use stuff like that.
Yeah, I hate that shit. I don't do that. Oh, or this is when they're stalling. When you hear them say, so what else I got going on?
Yeah, well, that's it too. But I'll tell you, that entire set, I felt like doing that. I don't know why. It was like that.
But I like what you did, though. You was like, well, yeah, this is me, Nate Nulph, comedian.
Stand-up comedian. I say that a lot.
Yeah, but it worked.
Yeah, it did.
It worked. It was a nice.
Well, it's better than saying
cushion.
Or
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing I hate worse than someone who's up there on stage or behind the microphone in a situation like this who goes,
Yeah.
in between their breaks.
But it's bad sets like that I'm very thankful for, and I try and be like, in the moment you're like, oh, I blew it, I don't want to talk to anybody. But it's like, even when I was driving home, it's like, it's those types of bombs are important to me to learn. Like, I've bombed at open mics. I've never really bombed at an established club.
Okay.
And that, last night was like a big thing for me. It's like, how am I going to take, if I dwell on not doing well at a particular thing, and that's all it becomes, then you haven't learned anything as a comedian. So it's
You got to fail before you succeed.
But
For
shouldn't
sure.
you dwell to a point though? Like I'm a dweller, and when I have something that doesn't go my way, even if it's just slightly, even if everybody else is like, "Oh, rah, it's fantastic," but I'm upset just a little bit, I will dwell and torture myself for months. But I make sure that I never make the same mistake again.
I did that a couple of times. Like, I missed a part of my joke, and he was like, man, that joke was funny. I was like, it would have been funnier if I had
Should've
told
been
it the
better.
way it
Exactly.
was meant to be. But
you can dwell on it, but it's what you said at the end. If you don't make sure that never happens again, if you
Right.
don't learn from that experience, then like what the fuck are we doing? If you have had, how many episodes of this have you done?
Oh,
We're over
300
200.
plus, over
Yeah.
somewhere like 300 some, I think.
You had to have made mistakes doing this.
I'm perfect. I don't make any
listen, I
mistakes.
knew you were going to say that. I knew that was going to come out wrong. But you had to have made mistakes in this, and you'd be like, okay, this is how I'm going to make this show better. Am I right or am I wrong? I am right. No, I am right on this.
No, I never make mistakes.
Okay.
I mean, you're in the presence of true greatness here. No, I things have happened. You know, my first time on radio was a huge disaster because I was expecting people to call in and nobody did. Speaking of 412-407-2PGH, you can text us, you can message us in the Facebook Live page, or you can tweet me at RiverTalkPGH. Jay's at Coop Troop Comedy. This is the River's Edge on the River's Edge Radio Network. We're talking with Nate Nulph, stand-up comedian, podcaster. Yeah, so I don't understand where you're coming from. Like I said, I don't make mistakes, but I do. Well, I did make one big mistake. When we first started, like I said, I expected all these people to call in. I was doing online radio, and I did not prepare a full show, and no one called in.
But look now. You
Look
have
now.
a full show.
I do.
That's what I'm saying.
Actually, I've just learned how to BS really well and get through the show.
And we got people that want to call, but, they're just scared. They're
Of
shy.
course.
They're shy.
They're shy.
Can you imagine going head-to-head with the Hulk?
Hulk Hogan.
I know, that's crazy. So, stand-up comedy, I imagine, like, did that help you in your personal life at all? I imagine
sure.
it would help build a lot of confidence as
sure.
a person. It did?
Oh, for sure. It's I'll use the example when I went on my first date with Monica. I was able to take comedy is an asset. I talk about it all the time on this show. And when you do something, okay, this is another point. I'm gonna go from 5 points here, but
Go ahead,
when
brother.
you fail at things, you get better at them. You can handle bombs a lot better. So that builds an unbelievable amount of confidence. So going on dates is no problem. I can do this and not really care what the outcome is in the moment. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Mm-hmm. I think it's helped with my job. I think it's helped.
How's that?
Again, confidence. Mm-hmm. Again, I'm in sales, so you're gonna get no. 100% more times than you're gonna get a yes.
Oh man,
right?
I was in telemarketing,
Do you know that?
brother. I
Oh my
remember
God,
that.
you get the no,
Yeah.
99,000%.
I remember they said that you're gonna get 100 phone calls, you're gonna get 90 no's, but make sure you get 10 yeses. That's what what they used to tell me.
But it's interesting too with stand-up. You can bring so much to a conversation. Not even if everything's funny, but you have a certain just a vibe about you. I feel like. I think personally, I guess that's how it's changed my personal life a bit.
I feel like confidence is the number one most important thing in stand-up.
Oh, sure, yeah, for sure. And I don't do any improv right now, but I know I'm going to need to start doing improv. That's a whole other world of confidence.
Well, the reason why I say that is that so I've gone to some open mics, and I feel bad because the people were up there, and you could just tell some of these people are terrified.
Yeah.
Petrified. In shaking in terror up there. Internally, they're shaking in terror. You could just tell by the way that they speak. They don't look up at the audience. And I thought, I'm not a comedian, but I could go up there and entertain people because I'm confident. And on stage, and I realized that these people are funny. Some of these newer people, they just need to get to a certain level of confidence to be able to really deliver and hit home with an audience.
That comes through failure, though. I did an open mic.
What do you do when you never fail? Go ahead.
Oh my God, Brian! I did an open mic. You invite me on this show.
I got my mustache falling off, brother. Hold on. Okay, go ahead.
I did an open mic at Papa D's hosted by Harry Gilliland Tuesdays at 10 p.m. I got up on stage.
Cheap plug.
I set up a joke, forgot the punchline. And embarrassing, right? I told another joke, forgot the punchline. And then I did that 2 more times. At some point, my brain was just like, you're going to forget the punchline. And people were like giving me pity claps, like, come on, man, you can do it. You can do it. And I got off stage. Eric gave me the light. I got off stage, and he's like, that's the quickest I've ever seen anybody get off that stage. But that's experience, too, was like, I tanked, but now I know where my focus needs to be when I'm on stage. If I left that bar that night and didn't take anything from it, why am I doing stand-up?
Yeah. Well, did you ever run through a back secret door to escape the crowd?
I've never done that.
I did that once.
Did you?
I did, yeah.
Have you done stand-up?
No.
Or are you talking about someone else?
I mean, it was me, and it could have been stand-up.
You've done it once.
I've never done stand-up, no.
You never did stand-up?
No, I'm not a comedian.
I could have sworn you did. No,
That's
you
what I
told
said.
a story.
Oh, I tell stories on stage,
You did
sure.
stories, that's what it was.
Well, I could have been a
But it was
comedian, and I definitely could have been a comedian in this particular story, but I was the ringside announcer for a wrestling performance.
Oh, I like this story.
You've heard this one before, yeah. So, I'm up there on stage, and first off, I have, they told me to bring up a second microphone with me, so I had it in my pocket. I go under the rope, and immediately the first thing that happens is the microphone falls out of my pocket, hits the stage, and rolls onto the floor.
Oh, my God.
So right there, it was ridiculous. And I get up there, and throughout the night, all of the information that they had sent me, I was so prepared. I came in with all of these little note cards with each wrestler, each pairing, in order, based on the information that was sent to me.
Okay.
Well, here they decided to change the entire lineup for the night, and the one person they didn't tell was the ringside announcer. Oh my God. So I'm up there calling wrestlers out of order.
Oh my God.
It was so horrible. And then they
I'm just picturing that, brother.
the owner of the
Picture me
company
coming out to Macho Man's music, like they just...
Yeah. So the owner of the company then, he pulls me aside. He goes, man, you got to be more enthusiastic. I said, look, at this point, I'm just trying to make sure I call the right person up on stage so you can forget the enthusiasm. I was so upset because I'm a professional. I came in all prepared. I was ready to go.
Right.
I was so upset that I snuck out through a back door,
That's
a secret back door of this arena. Because I didn't want to.
Didn't want to walk through.
I didn't want to talk to anybody.
Crowd.
Yeah, it was just I couldn't believe it. I was so upset.
I get that.
So yeah.
Yeah, I don't believe we have that type of door at the Improv. I mean, we might, but well, with the new lighting, the new and improved Improv with the new lighting and everything.
So both of you
kind of can't sneak out. So
have you been to the new Improv, Nate? The new
Yeah,
design?
that's what I was at last night.
Okay, did you like it?
Oh, I loved it.
It's
incredible. I almost crapped my pants walking in. It's
What's different about it?
Good. So the way to start, the way that you walk in is a little bit different. The middle aisle is gone. But they're able to seat so many more people in that space now.
Okay.
The same wait staff is incredible. The lighting is great. I think the microphone system is a little bit different. I think it's a little better. But it's a really cool thing for the city.
They kept the one waitress. They kept 4 people from, the original,
They still have
group
that
of people,
thing where
but everybody else is new. And the uniforms, oh my God.
Oh, they're great.
You like that?
Oh, they're great.
What is with everybody liking plaid, man? I don't like it.
You don't like plaid?
They wear
Why?
long sleeve plaid with a vest over it. It looks like they put a vest over a picnic.
Why does everyone have vests?
Picnic sheet.
Why does everybody have vests anymore?
know.
That's like making it the Applebee's of comedy almost.
I swear, when I came in there, I was like, where is my
Not the plaid. I don't have a problem with the plaid, but
the plaid
vest.
bothers me. I felt like I was at Texas Roadhouse. I came in.
What's
I'm
wrong
looking
with
at
Texas
them in uniform.
Roadhouse?
I love Texas Roadhouse.
Their
but I was
steak is
there.
great.
Their steak is awesome, brother. I love Texas Roadhouse, but I thought I was going into a comedy club. I look in there and I
Why
see their
can't you have
uniform.
both?
I'm coming in.
Why
looking
can't you
at,
enjoy a good steak while you're listening to comedy on stage?
I wish I could, brother, but they. Oh God! Don't get me started on their menu. They changed the menu. Oh God! They got rid of the showroom fries with the garlic mayo, man. I'm mad about that. They replaced it with chipotle ketchup and sriracha ranch and was
I
running.
like sriracha.
Oh yeah, well let's see if you like the prices, brother. You would have thought you was at fucking Dave and Buster's. The prices are ridiculous, brother.
Here is the thing. That
But still a nice place, though.
The completely... That's it. Yeah. The thing is, the completely remodeled venue is, to me, it's another sign that this Pittsburgh comedy scene is growing.
Yeah.
An unbelievable amount. Like when I started, I couldn't believe the amount of actual talent that was in this city until I started seeing people go into mics and working on material 10 times a week sometimes. I mean, look at Hambones, Burning Bridges Comedy Club in Lawrenceville. I mean, that is a huge thing.
Shout out to John Dick Winters.
Absolutely. Derek Minto. It's a huge, huge thing for our city. And then seeing the Improv take this big step. I mean, I don't know all the details of it, but it's such a cool thing for our city that comedy is expanding in the way that it is. Like, there's so many venues in the city to see comedy.
Are
now.
there?
Yeah.
So I feel like we actually have a deficient number of venues to see comedy.
Yeah, but the places, I don't know a lot about other cities. I mean, obviously compared to like New York and LA and Chicago and stuff, but the amount of places, okay, maybe, but the quality of those places, I think, is incredible. And the amount of even open mics that you can hit on a weekly basis, I think it's fantastic.
Well, the open mic scene, I think, isn't bad, but I feel like so many comedy shows are in bars and things like that. There's not enough clubs, I feel like.
There aren't, but there will be.
There will be?
I agree with that.
I have a feeling, you know. They got a lot of platforms with stages and stuff now. It was just a matter of time. Pittsburgh comedy, like Nate said, it's on the rise.
And I'll shout out John Dick Winters, too. On Monday night, he, in the open mic at Burning Bridges, he did this thing where he took notes on, if you wanted it, he took notes on your act and gave you pointers. I asked, and it was some of the most thoughtful comedy advice that I've gotten so far. It's like, it's not just the locations that are important, but it's the people actually helping this scene grow.
Yeah.
It's incredible. I mean, we talked about podcasts. Look how many comedy podcasts are in this city.
Yeah, I didn't realize how many there were. And
there's a lot.
Yeah, there's a lot.
There's like, what, like, I
There's
can't
a
even
lot,
count.
but I feel like, to be quite honest, like, so many of them, and this is... Maybe this is mean
and
to
a lot of
say.
them are with the River's Edge. Or some of them was.
Well, some
at one
people
time.
are comedians on the River's Edge, but
Yeah.
it's very... I feel like... So I like the way you do your show, because I feel like it's a lot more thoughtful. Like that one interview, I can't remember the gentleman's name, but you were talking about religion. It wasn't like, ooh, religion bad, or ooh, religion good.
Richard
it was
Teester.
Yeah, it was a
Yeah.
very thoughtful conversation, and it was a lot deeper. But I feel like so many of the comedy podcasts don't have their own angle. I feel like so many of them, it's like, it's an interview show, but there's nothing like unique about it.
I think that angle is the person hosting. Like,
Yeah.
I think my show is just, again, like what you said, taking it through the lens of that one person. Like, I think the We Got Next guys, I think they have a great angle with things. They talk about their experience in shows, and then they bring on a guest, and then they do games. Garrett
I've heard good
Teitelbaum.
things about them.
Yeah, they're incredible.
Garrett's is great. I know
Garrett's
his,
great.
yeah.
I think Ray Zawadny's is great. And I know I'm just throwing out names, but it's
super talented.
he's so good.
Shout out to Ray Zawadny, man. Him and Matt Light together, man, like the perfect tag team. Like the Mega Powers, brother. Yeah.
Yeah, no, that's a good point. Now, I just feel like there's, I don't know, I feel like there's a lot of similar ones, and I would like to. Some of the ones I've heard are kind of dry, I guess is the thing, and I feel like they need to do something to spice it up, whether they have different segments or I don't know. Like
I'm doing a game show episode.
Are you?
I am.
Oh, that's clever.
There
An
you go.
improv game show. I want to take my podcast and move it in a little different
Yeah.
direction. Like I
think
said,
it's
I want to
good
be a little
to mix
goofier.
things up at different times. This show isn't the same as it was when I started. It's
Yeah,
always
sure.
we're always adding segments, throwing out segments.
This is your medium. This is your
Yeah.
medium to bring content in the way you want to. My podcast is a medium that I think I can twist a little bit. And like that's something that's exciting.
That's right.
Well, Nate, I'd love to bring you back onto the program at some point, because
Yeah.
I know we can get into a lot more. But I will say it is time for the Hood Rat of the Week.
Ooh, yeah, brother. I gotta zone out to this.
Look, we came,
We saw. He died.
died.
Rest in peace, Macho Man.
We
That's my brother. That's my dog. Speaking of dogs, we're going to talk about this dog who led everybody to believe that he was a stray, or she was a stray. But in fact, this dog actually does have a home. Taking place a couple of days ago in Oklahoma City, a dog named Princess has been known for stepping out of her master's home every night and sneaking over to the McDonald's on Shield Street over in Oklahoma City and sitting outside the McDonald's waiting for people to feed her hamburgers. This is the first time in all the time I have done Hood Rat of the Week I have actually put an animal as my Hood Rat of the Week. I find that very interesting. That's why in this getup, that just adds a little something to it. So shout out to this dog, Princess, who pretends to be a stray and sits outside of McDonald's and stuff.
So can I completely ruin your Hood Rat of the Week? Right now?
You can try, brother.
I can do it. So,
try to do it.
Here's the thing. Explain what a hood rat is in J. Cooper terms.
A hood rat is something or someone that does something that is outside the norm.
Can I tell you that this dog is not outside the norm at all?
And how would you say it's not outside the norm?
So as you know, we welcomed a great new program to the River's Edge, SNAC, Science News and Cues, from the Carnegie Science Center. And their most recent
Good
episode...
people, by the way.
Yeah, great. Their most recent episode covered dogs, part of the episode. And unlike any other creature where we have domesticated it, like sheep, we wanted to utilize the sheep. So we trained the sheep to do what we wanted to do, right? We wanted to eat cows and drink their milk. So we trained cows to be docile and do what we want them to do. With dogs, it's the opposite. Dogs found out that they could mooch off of us. So there were certain wolves who were changing, who were more docile, that learned that they could just hang around humans and basically mooch, eat for free, and survive. And because of that, dogs there's so many dogs around the world, but very few wolves. Because dogs have learned that by being leeches and mooches and taking the initiative, that they could survive and thrive. So this dog is really just tapping into its ancestry and learning to mooch off of people at McDonald's. So it's not unusual at all.
While
this dog
still
is
mooching off somebody at her own home. This dog has a home, gets fed, but still has to go out at night to get fed by someone else.
Doesn't have to, it wants to.
Yeah.
This dog is a genius, is what I'm saying.
A genius until she got caught.
So
by
then
her
what
owner.
happened? So what
by
happened?
her
She got
owner,
caught?
Betsy Rice. Yes, because she followed her.
Well,
she followed her to the McDonald's. She parked and she watched as the dog just sat there waiting to be fed. She took a picture of it. And
I would argue that the dog is still a genius because it got away with it for how long?
They didn't say how long she got away with it.
But my point is it got away with it for a time, and it still got the burgers. It didn't lose anything. It just gained.
Yeah, weight definitely gained.
And now the dog is getting national attention. I mean, hell, it's even being talked about on this program.
4 million views, brother. That is a lot of...
Wow.
That's a lot of publicity, brother. In fact, the lady, Betsy Rice, the owner of the dog, she sent a message out to McDonald's saying, if you see my dog at the McDonald's on Shields, quit feeding her fat ass. Because she don't know how to act and be leaving the house all the time to go walk into McDonald's at night. She's not even a stray dog.
That's incredible. So
why is it that animals always get the views? You ever notice that?
Because people love animals,
I'm cute. I'm fucking
not
handsome,
not
brother.
as cute as a dog, though. Dogs are adorable. Everybody loves dogs.
This bitch got nothing on me. I can only say that because it's a dog.
Is it a female dog?
It's a female dog. I can get away with that.
So
That's
there
right.
we go.
That's right. Loophole, brother.
All right. So in just a few minutes, the UnhIInged event, which is going on at this place called Aftershock Theater at 115 57th Avenue. It's about to take place, 8 p.m. It's going on for a few different days here. It's going on tonight. It's going on tomorrow. A couple different times tomorrow, actually. I would definitely recommend this. It's going to go on the 26th, 27th, and, of course, on Halloween night, the 31st. This show was fantastic. As I said at the beginning of the show, Brian Crawford, elite member in the Pittsburgh media, was invited to get a pre-screening before the plebes had a chance to view the show. Brian Crawford was invited as a special guest among other big names in the industry, such as Marta of Marta on the Move, Dave Bracey, all sorts of Sykes from Sykes and the New Violence, who has his show Sykes the Beat podcast. Really top people. Nate refused because he's just so big of a name that he was like, this is...
No time.
Yeah, no time for it. He's being pulled into too many different directions. But, I had some time and I made it out, and it was incredible. What a great experience. What I loved about it is it's in this old place that you go in there and you feel like it's going to kind of fall down on you, the theater, just because it's so old. It's under construction. And it's really cold, so bring a coat because there's no heat in the place. But you sit down in this like little parlor area, and they take you upstairs into an area, and you feel like you're climbing onto the stage. There's a platform in the middle of the room. You climb up onto the platform, and what's great is the costuming was so great. There was one person who was stabbed, and if you look at their shirt, it's not screaming at you, like it's not in your face. But I noticed this because I have an eye for detail, and I noticed that there was a part on his shirt that looked a little damp, a little wet. It was the same color, but it just had a slightly different color. Well, here in the play, that particular part was where he was stabbed or shot. Mm-hmm. So it looked like basically it was blood that was seeping through, but it wasn't so crazy that it was just like little details. They really, really focus on these fine details. But what's great is you're sitting there on this platform in the middle of the room, and you're watching the show, and the scene ends. So then they literally, all of these people come and grab the platform on the sides, and they physically move the entire platform in a circle to the next scene. And they keep moving you back. So instead of seeing set changes on a stage, the set changes are happening while you are watching a scene, and then they literally move the entire audience to the next scene, the next set.
Brilliant.
It was great. It was so well done, and it's very Halloween themed.
There's nothing to repeat.
It was really Halloween themed as well. Actually, speaking of that, I don't know if you heard that voice. That was Alexa speaking to us. Yeah, she's talking to us still. There is actually a scene that deals with an Alexa, and everything's Halloween themed. Perfect show to see for Halloween. I couldn't recommend it more. I really, really was impressed, and there are some extra hidden surprises that I am forbidden to speak of because you got to experience it for yourself. But it's Unhinged. It's going on, as I said, it's going on right now. It actually just started, so you can't see tonight's show at this point. You're already listening to me. But go tomorrow and check it out. It's so worth your investment. So, and it's only like $17, but you get, for $17, you get, I'm trying to think, 1, 2, 3, you get like 8 different shows because they have all of these different scenes, and they're all directed by different people. They're all written, they're all separate from one another. So it's almost like a series of one-act plays.
Okay.
And there's this one show that's choreographed. It's a dance, and it's so artistically done. And there's like a poem that's going on. The dancers aren't reciting it. It's off camera or off your view, but it's just so well done. Everything's just so. And apparently, I was talking to some of the people afterwards, and that was actually the first time that they did a full run through on the show. Mm. But you would have thought they were doing it for months. So well done. So check that out. It's Unhinged. I told them I would definitely mention it on the show because it was such a great experience. It's going on right now at the Aftershock Theater, hosted by Cup of Joe Productions. Our good friend Joanna Lowe, that's her theater company. Liz Tripoli, who's a friend of the show, she's one of the writers and directors of the event. Really great experience. They have alcohol there too, so you can definitely get that. But get something good because it's like $5 a beer, whether you get a PBR or an Oscar Blues. So I'm saying you can get a good deal on some of the better beer. Don't spend $5 on a PBR. That's my advice.
Oscar Blue. I'm not sure I'm familiar with that one.
They're a good brand name.
Okay.
Yeah, they're actually.
You are the beer connoisseur.
They're distributed right here in Millville. So that's it. I would definitely check that out. Again, it is going to be Unhinged. It's spelled with 2 capital I's and it's going to be at the Aftershock Theater.
Yeah, what's the address of that? Just give me a...
Yeah, 115 57th Street, Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania, 15201. So what do you guys have coming up in the future? Nate, you can go first.
Comicality at Unplanned Comedy. Let me look at that. It's November 17th. It's
November
really
17th.
cool. It's 5-minute sets and then improv. So it's at Unplanned Comedy Theater. Listen to my podcast.
Absolutely.
Usually Wrong with Nate Nulph. Search it. If you leave me a comment, I'll give you a high five or whatever.
Fantastic.
Very nice.
Imagine that. A high five with a Pittsburgh celebrity. You can't go wrong
Oh, you're too kind.
with that. Jay, what do you have coming up?
Well, brother, tomorrow we have the Laughs at the Landing. Once again, going down to Rocks Landing in McKees
Nice.
Rocks. That's right. Howie D. Mack. Me and him are we're going to be co-hosting this one.
Oh, wow.
Because he's going to be DJing with this one as well. But we got 3 great comedians working with us. All of them are from the PC TV show Comics on Life. We got Just Janelle, we got Stephon Braxton, and David the Frog Bay, who's going to be headlining. And then next Friday, I won't be here. You won't be here.
No, we'll be on the road.
That's right.
We'll be at the
We'll
landing.
be doing the first, for Pick Your Poison. So be on the lookout for that. Our improv/comedy show where improv meets stand-up in a big black clock. Yeah.
It's going to be a lot of fun. November 4th, mark your calendars. I'm going to have Representative Connor Lamb in studio. I tried to get him in for the special election. That whole situation, I strong-armed the campaign into getting him here. So be thankful for that. He's going to be in. We're going to be talking about the election, which will only be, only 2 days away after the interview. So this is a big interview. This is a big time, too, right before the election. Excited to talk to him. Interested to talk to him about the difference between campaigning in a special election versus campaigning as an incumbent, but it's a weird situation because of the redistricting. Redistricting. Both he and Keith Rothfuss Both he and Keith Rothfuss are incumbents going head to head. So it's
I
still
had a hard time
unique.
saying his name too, brother.
He's got a really interesting name.
Yeah.
It's like, who did I have on the show where I asked? Oh yeah, Aaron Anthony when he was running in the primary. And I said, you have 2 first names, but his last name is Rothfuss. So who do you think would win?
Gesundheit.
The guy with 2 first names or the guy whose name is Rothfuss? So, we'll see. I know your brother, he's a fan of Rothfuss, so he'll have to...
Is he?
I
had no
think so.
idea.
He did a campaign event with him.
Is that
so
true?
It is true, yeah.
I know he does campaign events.
He does, yeah.
I'll keep track.
That happens whenever you're running for office, right?
It's a politics thing. Yeah.
Yes. That's Nate Nulph. That's Jay Cooper. I'm Brian
Thank you.
Crawford. This has been River Talk. This is the River's Edge Radio Network. Don't forget to tune in Sunday night, right here, 7 p.m., riversedgepgh.com/live.
And what you gonna do when the River's Edge and River Talk run wild on you? Later, bitches.